Today we are going to speak about understanding the meaning of the mathematical term fractions. All the things in life cannot always be expressed in the form of pure integer values such as 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Suppose we have a round cake and we cut it into four equal parts. Now, if one part is taken away and someone asks you how much cake is remaining, you would say that 3/4 of the cake are remaining. 3/4 is a fraction which is numerically written as 3 over 4. Let us now try to understand this in a bit more detail. So, what is fraction in maths? A fraction in general represents the number of equal parts that is present in a non-integer number. Suppose we go back to our example of 3/4, which is 3 over 4th, shown here. It represents that there are three parts of each part is equal to 1/4. So in simple terms, there are three of these 1/4 in 3/4. Thus, there are necessarily two parts in a fraction, one on top of the line. So this one is on top of the line, the 3 in this fraction, as you could see, and another one in the bottom of the line, which is the 4, if we take this example. So the top one is referred to as the numerator and the bottom one is referred to as the denominator. So 3 over here is the numerator and 4 over here is the denominator. The numerator and the denominator must be integers and denominator cannot be 0. Now that we understand what is fraction in maths, let us look into different types of fractions, understand them in detail. Before we look at different types of fractions, we must understand that the numerator represents the number of parts and denominator represents the denominator represents how many such parts will be required to make up a whole or unity. Suppose we have a fraction 5 over 9 with 5 as the number and 9 as the denominator, so 5 as the numerator and 9 as a denominator. The numerator 5 tells us that there are 5 parts and the denominator tells us that there are 9 such parts will be required to make a whole. In simple terms, if we add 9 such parts, we will get 1. Fractions can be classified into various types, such as proper and improper fractions, positive and negative fractions, simple fractions, proper fractions. A fraction can be both positive and negative if both numerator and the denominator has the same sign. The fraction can be referred as a positive fraction. If the sign are opposite, it will be a negative fraction. If the numerator in the fraction is less than the denominator, irrespective of the sign, it is known as a proper fraction. The absolute value of a proper fraction is always less than 1. An improper fraction has the numerator, so this is the numerator in this term, greater than the denominator, and thus its absolute value is always greater than 1. A simple integer can also be expressed as a fraction with denominator as 1. Example: determine which is a proper fraction and which is an improper fraction. So let's go back. So let's look into the definition first of in this. So improper fraction has a numerator greater than the denominator. So this is an improper fraction. This is an improper fraction. This is, we could argue this is an improper fraction. So this is a proper fraction and this is an improper fraction. Thanks for listening.